Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by BASF, where the performance of Veltima fungicide can take your best results even farther. Hey, be sure to join us on Tuesday this coming week as we'll update you from the Ohio Corn and Wheat, and also follow the Ohio Field Leader Program at OCJ.com, brought to you by the Ohio Soybean Council and their Soybean Checkoff. Let's check in with our weekly update from the Ohio Soybean Council and your checkoff dollars at work. Here's Dusty Sonnenberg.
For this week's update, Ohio Country Journal editor Brianna Smith visited with OSU Extension entomologist Dr. Kelly Tillman.
Kelly, what should we be on the lookout for as we head into summer here? What pests are coming to the top of your radar? What about some of those later planted crops, some of those soybeans that may have been replanted or didn't get in until late? Any concerns there?
Things could get interesting with late planted soybeans towards the end of the growing season. So September, if you still have fields that are green when other fields are drying down, those are going to be a magnet for certain insect pests. They're going to leave all the other fields and they're going to come into what's juicy and green. Two of the biggest types of pests we worry about are stink bugs. There's several species, but they all feed the same way. They feed directly on developing seeds, and also bean leaf beetles, which chew on pods and can cause seed damage that way, and also open to the plant to disease. Those are two particular things that really get on the move when things are drying down and find what's green. So we're definitely going to be doing some education efforts for people to watch out for those towards the end of the season.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time. Again, my guest today was Dr. Kelly Tillman, the Ohio field crop entomologist, reporting for Ohio AgNet and Ohio's Country Journal. I'm Brianna Smith.
And thanks, Brianna. Today's update again brought to you by the Ohio Soybean Council and your Soybean Checkoff.
And thanks, Dusty. Today's weather brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Here's the forecast.
Sunny, hot, and humid weather in here again as we get ready for the holiday weekend. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. A look at that Ohio Ag weather update. Here's what's going on. Humidity values are increasing. Dew points are rising here today. We are getting into the uncomfortable range. Tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday will be worse. Well above normal temperatures and above normal humidity values. It is summer in Ohio, so I guess we should be used to it, but still, it doesn't feel very nice. No precipitation to speak of here as we move through the next several days. Now you get into the overnight period, Sunday night into Monday. That's when we start to see a little bit more instability, have a minor frontal boundary trying to push in. It doesn't change temperatures as much, but may trigger a hit and miss, a scattered shower overnight, Sunday night through Monday morning. And then the instability continues through Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday and Wednesday, the focal point of pop-up thunderstorm action is probably a little bit farther west. We may escape Tuesday and Wednesday with only minimal coverage. But next Thursday, yep, everybody gets something, anywhere from a quarter to 1.5 inches, with coverage at 90% of the Buckeye State. Behind that system, though, next Thursday, we go drier for Friday the 11th, Saturday the 12th, Sunday the 13th. Not necessarily much cooler, but definitely less humid and drier before we turn it around and go back the other way for the week of the 14th. I see plenty of heat-based thunderstorm action for the 14th at least through the 17th. I'm meteorologist Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. Well, the National Farmers Union President, Rob LaRue, released a following statement in response to the Senate reconciliation bill. Family farmers and ranchers still need a comprehensive 5-year farm bill that reflects the full breadth of agriculture from producers to consumers, and using reconciliation to move a partial package is a missed opportunity. There are some meaningful provisions in this bill. It strengthens the farm safety net, invests in biofuels and conservation, and extends key tax incentives. But these gains are paired with harmful trade-offs, most notably cuts to SNAP and Medicaid, and new, broader loopholes in farm program payment limits. We support Senator Grassley's amendment to close these loopholes and better target support to family farmers and ranchers. These improvements are essential to restore fairness. Farm policy should unite us. We urge lawmakers to redouble their efforts to deliver a farm bill that works for everyone. In House Bill 65, the Agriculture Appreciation Act passed the Ohio legislature on June 24th and was signed into law by Governor DeWine on July 1st. The Ohio Ecological Food and Farm Association and members of its Ohio Soy Health Initiative celebrate the passage of this bill and the opportunities that come with it. The bill makes several specified day and week designations relating to agriculture, including recognizing the second full week of November as Ohio Soil Health Week. OEFFA thanks Senator Tim Schaefer for his 2024 amendment recognizing Ohio Soil Health Week and applauds Representative Klopfenstein and Peterson for reintroducing the bill this session. Ohio Soil Health Week celebrates and raises awareness of the vital natural resource and honors the birthday of soil health trailblazer and advocate David Brandt of the Brandt Family Farm and Walnut Creek Seeds. The inaugural celebration of Ohio Soil Health Week took place from November 10th to the 16th, 2024, preceding its official designation, and involved 25 statewide partners, 19 events, and more than 724 attendees. The official designation by the state of Ohio elevates the importance of soil health, said OEFFA Policy Director Milo Petrozello. This allows us to grow the week and raise more awareness of Ohio's soil vital role in our health, environment, and economy. Joining me is Shelley Detweiler. For some of you, it would be Berry Girl. She's a contributor to Ohio's Country Journal and a dietitian. And Shelley, thanks for joining me and helping me. Shelley, if we had the choice between taking a vegetable tray and a fruit tray, which would you recommend as easier to handle when we talk about being food safe?
Well, I think fruits and vegetables are pretty safe, but if you add dip or some kind of dressing, just make sure that is chilled. Chill it really good before you even take it, and then you can kind of put it in some of those products like a double bowl with ice or something like that for the dip. But I would think the fruits and vegetables are pretty safe if you have cleaned them well, had clean hands, wash your hands. Number one thing in food safety is wash your hands. If you wash your hands, clean the fruits and vegetables well. I think they're pretty safe for a little bit longer time period. I know Paul, my husband, he would love me to take watermelon at every single picnic that we go to, and he would probably eat the whole bowl.
Cream pie or fruit pie?
I would say fruit pie. Fruit pie has less of those susceptible ingredients in there. Cream pie, you might want to put on some ice.
Fruit pie or cake?
Fruit pie or cake? I don't know. Both of those sound pretty good. I think you're pretty safe with that. If you're using a buttercream icing on the cake, if over 90, it's probably going to melt. Be careful with the icing and that kind of thing on the cake.
Shelley, thanks for the update. Is there a website that has a lot of this?
I'm sure you can find it on American Dietetic Association, eatright.org. Is another one that you could probably find some picnic tips for. I had an article a few years ago about picnic safety. Just Google it. I'm sure Taste of Home has things that help you stay safe in picnics.
Shelley, thanks for the update and have a great holiday weekend.
Hey, you too, Dale.
And another site to help you with your food safety is the Meat and Poultry Hotline. That's mphotline@usda.gov. mphotline@usda.gov. Enjoy your holiday weekend, everyone. Back with more after this.
Attention construction pros. Purple Wave Auction brings quality equipment to your fingertips. Join our bi-weekly online auctions featuring dozers, excavators, loaders, and more. We provide detailed listings, photos, and seller contact info. Inspect online or in person. With our no reserve policy, every item sells to the highest bidder. Visit purplewave.com today and see why informed builders choose Purple Wave. Transparent processes, real deals, your next great purchase awaits. purplewave.com.
Think biodiesel is just another fuel? Think again. Biodiesel is Ohio innovation on the move. Clean, green, and built to keep diesel engines running strong. It's an engine booster, a soybean supporter, and an environmental champion all in one. Every gallon reduces emissions, strengthens Ohio farms, and powers your ride. Drive with purpose. Choose biodiesel. Learn how at soyohio.org. Before we get to Ryan Martin's analysis on what happened in the markets, let me give you some of the numbers. It may help you focus on what Ryan's got to say. Today's market's brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Recapping yesterday's close because it's fun. July corn up 9 1/4 at 429 1/4. December up 11 1/2 at 433 1/2. March up 10 3/4 at 448 3/4. July beans up 25 3/4 to 10.50 1/2. November up 20 3/4, closing at 10.48. If you carried them to January, you'd be up 20 cents at 10.62 3/4. July wheat was up 18 3/4 at 5.56, and September up 15 at $5.64. That's a pretty good set of numbers. We haven't had anything like that in quite some time. Today's market analysis is brought to you by the Louis Dreyfus Company. Excited to be building the newest state-of-the-art soybean crush facility in Upper Sandusky, Ohio. For marketing information on your beans to LDC, call 574-566-2113. Here's Ryan Martin.
Grain markets finished the Wednesday session on a mostly higher note. The charge was led by soybeans, up 20 to 26 cents. Corn followed beans higher, not right away, but by the close we were up 9 to almost 12. And the wheat markets had a nice little day to the upside as well, anywhere from 10 to 25, 26 cents overall, so a fairly significant move in all of the grains. The soybeans led the charge, helped by soybean oil. Once again, the big, beautiful bill in the last stages of the reconciliation process. It is in the House. Last that I heard, there were several holdouts, enough maybe to kill the bill, but everybody thinks this is going to go through, and in it has a lot of good 45Z tax provisions for soybean oil. That's propped up beans a little bit. In addition, we had some minor movements, or at least headline-making movement, in some of these smaller trade deals. In particular, yesterday, Vietnam comes to the table with a deal to buy $2.9 billion worth of agricultural products. Here's the problem. Some of that, a lot of that is things like tree nuts, and $2.9 billion is not even remotely close to what Vietnam usually does in trade with the United States. So it was a headline that helped the market and maybe make everybody feel like trade is getting better, but there's not really much to go on here. And I'm saying that because today is the last trading day of the week. The holiday hits tomorrow. No trade until we get into Monday morning. And so there's a lot that could happen here. I don't want to get us too into a deep slumber on everything that is going on, because the flip side of the equation is what we kind of talked about yesterday. Supply looks absolutely huge here in the United States, especially given the current weather pattern. But for at least a day, everybody's optimism rang to a higher number. I'm Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. We'll look at the overnight figures after this. Think biodiesel is just another fuel? Think again. Biodiesel is Ohio innovation on the move. Clean, green, and built to keep diesel engines running strong. It's an engine booster, a soybean supporter, and an environmental champion all in one. Every gallon reduces emissions, strengthens Ohio farms, and powers your ride. Drive with purpose. Choose biodiesel. Learn how at soyohio.org. Today's market's brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Overnight at the open, July corn's unchanged after being slightly higher at 4.29 1/4. December up 2 1/2 at 4.36, and March up 2 1/4 at 4.51. The July beans clicked higher early. Now we're unchanged at 10.50 1/2. November up 1 1/4 at 10.49 1/4. January's up 1 at $10.63 3/4. The July wheat is up 2 at 5.58, while September's 5.66 3/4, up 2 3/4. If you carried it all the way to December, you're up 3 at $5.87. In livestock, August cattle up $1.70, closing at $212.45. October up $1.90 at $209.70, and December up $1.77, closing at $210.12. The July lean hogs, $109.65, up 65 cents. August, $107.90, up 95. In October, $93, up 42 cents. September feeder cattle, $308.87, up $3.22. October feeder cattle up an even $3 at $306.42. And November feeder cattle up $2.65 at $303.47. Don't forget more ag news always on our website at ohioagnet.com. Thanks for joining us. This is the Ohio AgNet.